task force. Okay, so which are going to be the roles included in the task force that has to carry out the project? Here we're going to see a few roles that are going to participate in a project where we want to automate processes, but the names might not be the same. Names that you guys would use in your companies, they could be different. Okay, here we just gave them a name that is going to be easy to understand, but obviously in each company these roles have different names. So first of all, we're going to have the users who know the business well. Who are these people? The ones who are going to be working on their daily basis with the different features of the application and which are actually going to be interacting most with the final product. So initially they don't have a BPMS tool. All they have is whatever they're doing manually, or their computers, their Excel sheets, their emails. And what these people know is what they do every day. These people know their business better than anyone. If they have needs, they can always communicate these needs to the project director. Okay, so usually in their companies there's someone, here we're calling it a project director, but someone who has to coordinate all the activities of all these employees. So then we have the project director, who's going to be collecting all the information, evaluating the information, planning, establishing the priorities. And these project directors, what they must know is the different relationships between the processes. They also must know how to convey the process's expectations to the project manager. So now we're going to see who's a project manager. Okay, so let's say this company is Toyota. Okay, and let's say the users who know the business well are the salespeople, maybe the people at the warehouse, people working in logistics, and so on. And the project director is whoever is ensuring that all the activities that they're performing are perfectly aligned, they're perfectly coordinated. The project director setting up the priorities for each one, and so on. Now, then we have let's say the technical side, or the people who are going to be implementing or improving or digitalizing the company. And we have a project manager. He's gonna have to be a senior consultant if he wants to implement AutoPortal. And we already know that this project manager is not going to need any IT background, okay? But he is going to need to know exactly what AutoPortal can do for this company. So as it says here, they have the biggest responsibility of the project implementation, okay, because the project director is going to say, look, I want to automate our sales process, for example, and then the project manager has to make this and they have to make this happen. Okay, so the project manager is going to work hand to hand with the project director to ensure that the project is developed according to the business expectations. And usually, depending on the size of the company, the project manager is going to have consultants or technicians who are going to help him with this project. Okay, so let's say maybe it's a large team because maybe there are hundreds or dozens of processes that have to be implemented. So maybe this project manager has a team that can help him, maybe 2 or 3 consultants. Maybe even one of them has technical skills because he needs to integrate with external applications and some things like that. Okay, so it might be convenient for him to have someone with a technical profile in his team in order to help him out maybe with certain integrations. Okay, what should they know in order to do all of this? Okay, first of all, as we mentioned, the users, or the people working at the warehouse, the people working in sales, they need to know everything related to their area of work in the company. Okay, and what they need to perform in order to do their duties. Okay, so these people have no idea of what AutoPortal is or how it works. But then we have the project director. Here it's very important that the project director knows what his people need to do, but he also has to know a little bit about AutoPortal. He needs to know what this tool can do for his company, because he's going to transmit the information to the project manager. Okay, so the project director has to know if he can actually automatically send an email, or maybe we can automatically retrieve data from different users and combine it in order to store it somewhere. So he has to have at least a bit of an idea of what the BPMS tool can do for him. And then we have the project manager. Obviously, he has very little idea or much less than a project director of what the company is doing, but the project director is going to have to transmit all the information of whatever he has to automate. Okay, so let's say we want to automate one or two processes. Well, then he's going to have to transmit this information to the project manager. Obviously, the project manager has to have a lot of knowledge about the BPMS tool that he's going to use to automate those processes. And finally, here we have the consultants. So here it depends, because if there's several consultants and maybe there's 2 or 3 different processes, maybe each consultant is going to have one process assigned. So they're going to have to know what they need to implement. So they're going to have to know that specific process. And besides, obviously, they're going to have to know all the tools that are going to help them to implement the solutions. So they need to know Autoportal very well. Something we recommend all of our partners, all of our customers, whoever's trying to automate processes, is to not try to do it on their own from day one. They should try to do it with the help of a senior consultant, because often what happens after a while, maybe they're not able to achieve all the expectations of the customer, or they're not able to automate as much as they want. And it's probably not because of the tool. It's probably just because they lack experience, or maybe they're missing maybe certain knowledge about certain capabilities of the product. And this in many cases could mean the failure of the project. So we want to avoid this from happening. In order to do so, what we have to do is rely on a senior consultant that can help us take these first steps. Okay. This is going to ensure a better understanding, it's going to create professional solutions, and it's going to guarantee success from the first project. This is more or less the same in any type of project. I wouldn't want someone who just learned, or who just did a course, or who just got their degree to build a very important building, or to make a huge bridge, or make an entire boat for, I don't know, for hundreds of passengers, when they really don't have any experience. Okay, so first of all, they should work with someone who does have the experience, and after they get a little bit of experience with their first or second project, they can start managing the other ones. So as it says here, this is an example of what we would recommend. Let's say we have our first project within the company. How we want to do this on our own. Okay, so let's say I have a company, maybe we're a company dedicated to offer certain services, like maybe legal services, and we have a lot of users. Maybe they're lawyers, maybe they're just external users that are going to use our application. And we have our director, okay, who's going to be coordinating all the different activities that these users are performing. And then we have the person responsible of the implementation and the consultants. Okay, so my staff is actually these people here. Okay, the users and the director. But then initially, in order to automate all my processes, I'm going to rely on some external support and some external staff. So I might have to hire a few consultants to help us throughout our first project. Then comes the second project. Okay, now the company can handle the projects with maybe occasional help from specialized consultants. Okay, so once in a while, the company who already has someone within the company, maybe they've already trained this person, they've already done all the courses. So this person responsible of automating the processes already has enough knowledge to start digitalizing the company, to start automating the processes, and maybe sometimes he's going to need help from some consultant. And let's say it comes to the third project. Now the responsible of these automations and the responsible of the digitalization of the company, he's going to have a lot of knowledge. He's going to have experience because he's already managed previous projects, and by this point he can probably automate on his own, or maybe with some help of internal consultants. So it comes to a point where the customer can do absolutely everything. But we recommend this to be progressive, not to be something like, okay, I just finished the course, I'm going to try to automate this complicated project with hundreds of processes or whatever on my own without anyone's help. This would probably not be a very good idea.